Indefinite detention. Libya, violation of War Powers Act. Authorization to target American citizen. Tripling of the warrantless wiretaps in the last few years. Benghazi, IRS targeting their enemies. Wiretapping of reporters. Federal government suing states for enforcing immigration laws. 1,000% increase in Americans who are being surveilled under the Patriot Act. Drone over U.S. soil. 100% increase on food stamp spending. Forced purchase of insurance by private companies. We support terrorist groups around the planet as long as we can go in and destabilize the country that they're operating in. Terrorist groups such as Al-Nusra and Al-Qaeda. TSA, NSA purchasing ammo hand over fist. Wall Street getting a slap on the wrist here and there, but the big players, HSBC, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, none of them have sent any of their CEOs or any of their key personnel to prison. They paid money in fines with taxpayer dollars that funded their bailouts. These are all things that have occurred in the last several years in this governed by crisis. Yet, we are all completely befuddled and bewildered as far as the mainstream goes over a debt ceiling debate that we've heard time and time and time again. Look, last Thursday, there was no debt ceiling deal. Markets went up 300 points. Last Friday, no debt ceiling deal. Went up 100 points. Why? Because this is a financial terrorist tactic. This is how you govern by crisis. You leak that there's a deal. You show the people of this country, the world, that our best solution, our only hope, is to give this power to the technocrats to immerse us in another $1 trillion in debt. This is the only thing that will lead to prosperity. You leak this out that we have a deal and we have a rally. It shouldn't be a surprise to anybody when the deal that wasn't was announced not to be on Saturday. So what do we get? Sunday, Christine Lagarde, technocrat, head of the IMF, comes out and says it's very, very concerning. Things around the world economically have been looking up, she claims. Europe's doing better. Ask the people in Greece. Ask the people in Cyprus. Japan's doing better, she says. And we're on the brink of collapse because out of the blue, we found out about a debt ceiling issue in the United States. Out of the blue, we found out that the government has shut down and that there's no remedy in sight. She tells it almost like a bedtime story you would tell your children. She goes on to say that if there is not a resolution, this week will be very much catastrophic for the global markets and the global economy. Massive disruption, she says. Could you be more disingenuous? Christine Lagarde knows very well, as every other technocrat across this globe, that this debt ceiling debate was coming. Why? Because we've used it time and time and time again since 2008 to immerse this nation and the planet further and further into debt. Our solution, look, we've already lost the battle. If the argument is we either go $1 trillion more in debt or we fall off the cliff, we've already lost the war. This is an absolute outrage to anybody who is thinking. $17 trillion in sovereign debt. This is what's been dumped onto the people of this country. While we sit back and we watch institutions that were once named too big to fail now become so massive that they totally and completely dominate legislation in Washington, D.C. So how does this all end? Well, we either get a debt ceiling deal and we pretend that things are recovering and we see the markets rally. Or, and one day this will happen, is the or. We go over that cliff when the powers that be, the Christine Lagardes and the technocrats in the world, are ready for their stated goal of implementing global financial governance. They'll push us off that cliff, and there'll be no more bailouts. There'll be no more trotting Jamie Dimon out, or HSBC, or JP Morgan, or any of the other these institutions. It will be you, the people, that are bailed in. This is the end goal. This is why all this time and effort and money has been spent to make these institutions whole and complete and make you liable for the failure of the collusion between government and special financial interests. This is the path we are on. It's time to wake up and realize the best thing that could happen for this country would have collapsed in 2008. Let this collusion between Wall Street and Washington be exposed and be destroyed. Rather than doing that, we drank the Kool-Aid, and here we sit again at the precipice of yet another crisis so that we can give our financial future to a bunch of scumbag technocrats that promise one day to implement their global financial governance. Stories are attached. That's all I got. Gabe Elton and Austin Rare Coins and Bullion have handed me an October 2013 special that is the most aggressive I've seen since they've been supporting independent media. OPM 1 ounce gold bars, $29 over spot. 1 ounce silver rounds, 99 cents over spot. Gabe Elton's direct line is 800-552-4109. You can visit him online at austincoins.com. I'll put a link to the specials down below. Thank you, Gabe Elton. Thank you, Austin Rare Coins and Bullion, for supporting independent media. Please take advantage of these October 2013 specials.